All right, guys, we're going to play with a basic flower base and make 12 different designs. Let's get started and see how fast, fun, and easy this is. Good morning, guys. We're going to see how fast, fun, and easy this is going to be to take this basic flower design. Now, this is a design that everybody knows how to do. And I want to draw up. I'm going to use these little boxes, but you can just draw on a piece of paper. And after we do our designs, then we will play with scattering them, kind of like this, on a page. But I want to get the 12 designs done and out of the way first, so that way we have them to reference. And if you're only here for the doodle designs, there, we will have them. So welcome, and I hope that you are ready to play. Grab a pen, grab some paper, or grab a pencil. Any pencil. A yellow pencil will work too. Yellow? How about a yellow barrel? A standard student pencil. Lots of people have those laying around right now. Yay! All right, guys. So I'm going to zoom in on this and bring it to that lovely side view. I like that view. And we are going to do 12 different designs. So the very first design is going to be the standard base. And the nice thing about a standard base is that it's easy. It's something that we all know. We've all been doing this for years and years and years. Even if you're 6 years old, you've done it for a couple years. But, you know, I'm closer to the other end of the spectrum than 6. So there we go. I have my first base done. Now I'm going to take that same base. I'm going to do the same center. I'm going to actually do the same petals. Try and make it, similar. Neat thing about a base is that you can change it. You can add things to it. You can make things feel different just by going in and putting these little triangles on the ends of the petals. Look at that. It feels like those petals are now pointed and they have more of a shape to them. See? And we can go in and give that some center dots like this. Look at that. That looks like a dogwood flower almost. Pretty fast and fun and easy on that, isn't it? Now you can take that same base again. We're going to put the same type of circle, but I think this time I'm going to put a center ring on it. Easy. Same thing, just drew a littler circle in the middle. And I am going to put my same round petals, the same number. You can change the number of petals though. You don't have to stay with the same number. So I'm going to go in and color in around that base of the center, but leave just a little highlight. I just left a little bit. Boy, my tongue is not working with my teeth today. Or maybe it's my lips. There we go. All right, and I'm going to put that little center in. Now this could be a completely different flower already, but I want to go and put, you know how we had those triangles bending back? I'm going to have them sticking out this time. Look, we now have a totally different flower. And this could be that the center bit right here is darker, or it could be lighter. We could put in another ring. This is where the doodling comes in. Another little arch. We could even come out here and put little lines. This makes it feel like those flower petals are bent back a little bit. Just like that. No, that's okay. He'd block the camera. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to go in. I'm going to put another petal here, another center. We're going to do the same 5 petals because I still have more that I can do with just 5 petals. You could put 6, you could put 4. It doesn't matter really. Now we're going to go and grow these petals out. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to stay with just the 5. So we have a little bit of room to grow these out. We're going to go and make outlines on each petal, and we're going to just grow it out as far as we want to. It can go out all the way to the edge of the box. The neat thing about this one is that it works really well when you are layering flowers. It's like a stack of paper flowers. So you could do rainbow colors. Each of the petals, each of the layers could be a different color. Yeah, it is kind of like the 70s type of flower where, you know, it's that basic little flower that you had. And then when you layer it up, I'm going to color in that center a little bit. And put stripes, sort of echoing those outside lines. Look at that. Well, that is true. No one would see with the current angle. However, we're going to go this way now. Look at that. We've already got 4 designs done, and what? We're just a few minutes in. So now we're going to get number 5. And this time, I think I'm going to change up my base just a little bit. It's still the same base, but I'm going to give it a few more petals. Just to show you that by making your petals a little bit smaller, now I've got 6 petals on here. All right, I'm going to zoom in on that though. There we go. So now we have 6 petals, and I want to go ahead and put a long oval in the center of each petal. See that long oval going from the center all the way out to the end of the petal. And depending on how you color that in, you could have this being petals that are folding over, or it could be a stripe going down the center. There we go. So I think I'm going to make it feel kind of like it's the petals that are folded over. So I'm putting a little crease line right down deep in. That little crease is kind of like a shadow. See how it feels like it goes deep in, almost like loops of ribbon? And I think I'm just going to give it a fluffy center. And to make these petals feel a little bit more like they might be folded over, if you go in and you put some little lines right out at the tip of each petal, and we'll go back to that side view. Right down here at the tip of each petal, it makes it feel like it's a loop of ribbon, doesn't it? We've got those silk ribbon flowers going on now. See how easy that is? Wasn't hard to do it. Wasn't hard. So now we're going to go in, and I want to do something similar, but this time I'm going to take and make my center parts first. So it's like I'm making long petals. And by doing that, I can fit as many in as I want. I still only want about 6. And this time I'm going to take and make my little round petals around those centered. Look at that. You can see our base is still there. It's still the same flower base. But it's so fun and easy to make different kinds of flowers. Let your imagination run when you're doing these. Look at that. Ooh, maybe I'll put a line going all the way out. This is like a top petal. And then I'm going to go ahead and maybe make a spiral going, spiral going in. So now we've got 6 flowers done. Let's set that over to the side and get 6 more. So that way we have a whole bunch of flowers to be able to go in and scatter around, making that center again. This time I will put my petals back on first, my round petals, just like the regular flower base. And instead of having those petals going over the top, they're coming out from behind. So I'm going to have them come out from behind those petals. And this could be like a columbine or some type of star flower. Look at that. These could be leaves behind the petals. Now, if I want to make this into a columbine, I'm just going to go and put that arch right here. Same flower base again, isn't it? But this time, I'm going to add an extra dark arch right in the very center here. And if you did this with colors, if you did it with different colors, I would go with a deeper pink down inside, and then a slightly lighter pink, and then an even lighter pink out here on the edge. Ah, there we go. We're going to make it look like it has little eyelashes or something right there. That's like a bend. And then we've got a few little lines out here on the tips. See how easy? We're going to do 12 beginner patterns. And once you've got them drawn up, you've got them. You have them as a reference to use later. So there we go. Now we've got our columbine flowers. And I see that in the chat, somebody was even suggesting that they could be columbines. So yay, it went through just the way I wanted it to. All right, so we've got another one coming up here. And this one, I think we're going to make it a little bit fancier. It's going to have a center and a center and a center. So let's just make like a little bullseye. We're going to do a slightly stretched out petal. It's still the base. It's still our base flower, but we've just stretched that center just a little bit. Oh, my favorite flowers are forget-me-nots. Right off. I love the brilliant blue of them and their happy little yellow centers. So we even had forget-me-nots on our wedding cake. A long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. All right, so now what we're going to do is in between these petals, we're going to do a rounded petal. Just like this. Okay. Then we can put our center crease line in. I'm going to put a little dot at the end of those little lines. You can make these as detailed or as not detailed as you wish. If you're going in and making this to make your own coloring sheets, go for less detail. It gives people more room to be able to add design and pattern to. If you are interested in more of my flower designs, I'm going to show off. I have my coloring book with lots of doodle flower designs as mandalas. Aren't those fun? This is available on Amazon, and the link is in the more information box below the video. And yeah. So there we are. We've got that. Now I want that to be a little bit fancier. So I'm just going to go and put an outline around the whole flower. This is a way to fancy something up a little bit, call a little attention to it without getting it too dark and heavy. So there we are. We have another one going in. Now I think we're going to make a lot more petals. So I'm going to stretch my base out, just stretch those petals out. We're going to get more of that daisy type of look. Just rounding the petals off as we go around. Look at that. Just fit them in as well as you can. And when you get to the last one, I like to tuck it behind. See? And then a few little lines in the center. And again, those little crease lines just give you that feeling of it being a little bit more in the world instead of just being flat. If you arch those little lines a bit, and I'm putting these little dashes out here. Now these little dashes could be highlights, could be shadows. Generally they're going to be highlights or sparkle. Since our flowers are light, I'm putting a little bit of a darker line. They could be stripes too. We're going to move on. Look at that. We're on number 10 already. How'd that happen? We're going to do a center, another circle, another circle. Remember, these are doodle flowers. They don't have to be realistic. I'm going to take my basic base right here, and I'm going to make these little lines have a divot like hearts. So basic base, but it's a heart shape. Look at that. Easy. And then you can stretch those out and make long skinny hearts or short fat hearts. Little sweetheart flower. I'm going to give it a little outline over those outside bumps. What does that do? It makes it look like there's more petals. Just outlining the shape that's there. Sorry about my hand getting in the way. And I think I'm going to give it 2 little lines. See how I'm sort of arching those lines too? It makes it feel like there's more shape to the flower. And guys, welcome so much. I love that you're here, and I love that we are zooming right along. We're going on to number 11. Wow, number 11 already. This shows you how quick and easy flowers can be, how you can get lots in a short period of time. I am going to go ahead and, well, I was going to just do a spiral, but just sort of ended up my petals going all over the place. My center is all over the place. That's okay. Now I'm going to do the same flower base, but I'm making tiny petals right around the center. Ooh, look at that. Looks like it could be a little tiny rose right there. I'm going to offset my next row of petals. There's still only 5. This could be a succulent. Did you know you could do a succulent that easy? like those little hens and chicks. Look at that. If we point these outside petals, working our way around. Oh my gosh. Well, that one just magically appeared, didn't it? Just by pointing those petals on the outside edge. But we started with that same base. And we grew it into something much more elaborate. All right. So if you have any questions, I will be answering questions in just a second. So make sure Mark sees your question if you have one. All right. So here I have done my circle and a spiral. Let's see if we can get back to that side view. All right. And then I'm going to put my little puffs, my little round petals. I'm going to go from the tip to the center. And I am going to make like parentheses and then straight down. These are going to look like puffs, aren't they? Straight down. Parentheses. And down the center. Oh, and I'm just using a Pigma Micron pen this time. This is the Micron 03. And I'm drawing on plain office paper, office cardstock right now. So now we have those puffs on there, and I want to make it a little bit fancier again. So we're going to go and put a longer with a slight point petal. See? Longer with a slight point on it. And that one wasn't as wide, so I'm going to make it wider. Now it looks totally different than all the other petals, but you know what? All you have to do is go in and do the same thing to all the other petals. Nothing is irretrievable. You can, when you're doodling, you can make things work out. A pattern is just a line that's repeated. A doodle is just a design that isn't necessarily planned from the beginning. So look at all of that. We've got 12 patterns done. We've only been doing this for 23 minutes. Wow, 12 patterns, 23 minutes, 2 minutes a pattern. You can do full-on big, huge cards and things like that in a really quick way. Now, if you were here for just the doodle patterns, you've got your 12 patterns already done in real time. But I want to go ahead and do this on another card. So, how can you easily turn these from a top view to a side view? I have the way to do that. To take a flower from the top view, let's zoom back in so you can see it really good. So, I'll take the basic base first. If you have a circle that's a flat circle, and you put your center straight in the center of it, you can make your flowers your top view, right? Just make your petal go, all your petals evenly go out to that outside edge. So I'm just grabbing any old pen that happened to be here. I need to grab a pen that's got a thicker tip on it. Here. So, then when you draw your flower in, you don't have to stick exactly on your circle, but you can be kind of close. All right. Now, draw your circle with a pencil because then you can erase that circle. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm putting the same circle in again. Look at that. But I'm going to move the center off center. Then when I do my petals, I'm still going to have my petals touch the outside edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So when I take my center and I put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Part of making it look like it's tipped up and away, put your line and kind of give it a curve. Curving down or curving up. Look at that. And when you put your shadow in, put it away from the light. So this one, the shadow just goes ringing around the whole center. This one, the shadow, because I'm saying the light's coming from up here, we've got shadow down here. Those petals up there are in light. Does that help? Another way, another flower, say you want it facing downwards. You can still do your circle, put your center down here. Now I'm having the center, these petals actually are going to curve up and away. So I'm going to give them a little bit more shape by separating the petals. I'm not having the petals hit along their edges. Look at that. So then the stem could be coming from up here and curving. So we'll get that. Then these petals are still touching the circle. So there. This one, we're going down. Petal is going up and away. But it's still touching that circle on the outside. Did I just add another petal? I did. You can add more petals. And because my petals are coming from the center right here, and my stem I've got coming up like this, you're going to see that you need a little bit of a shadow back inside there. And then the stem is coming up and down. Now this could be kind of like the, what do I want to say? Kind of like how you would put a daffodil that's facing down. Add your little lines. Give it its little shadows. Make some little texture. It's all up to you. Now that right there, I'm not as happy, so I probably would go back in with maybe, let's see, where's my white pen? Oh, where did my white pen go? There, no. Interesting. Well, oh, there it is. I'm going, where did my white pen go? You know, I don't really like that quite so dark. I can take my white pen. Now, it's going to pick up some of that gray. because this is a water-based pen, and the pigment ink will transfer some of that ink up. But look how it makes a bit of a shadow along those lines. Easy peasy. I wanted to soften them out. I can go over those lines with this white pen. All right. So, was that helpful? Draw your circle where you want your flowers, then you can decide which direction you're going to aim them up. We've got our 12 designs we're going to play with. I'm not going to use my Arteza pen because I want something that is waterproof. I will use the Micron, and I am going to scatter some of these designs on the paper. Kind of like doing that. All right, but we're going to stay with the designs we just did. So we're going to go quick. I'm not going to make that big of a pattern, but I think I will decide here real quick where my flowers are going to go. This is a piece of, here, let's go bigger. Let's go bigger. This is a 7 by 5.5 inch piece of watercolor paper. It's the Arteza Premium, which is the student grade watercolor paper, double-sided, acid-free, basic watercolor paper. It is, we're not going to watercolor very much if we do, but I want to take and decide what's going to be my center flower. Let's see. But look at that. One flower base, 12 designs. Ha! Ha! I am going to put one flower in the center. Now you're not going to see those, my plotting outline too much to start off with. But I'm going to put one in the center, and maybe 1, 2, 3, and then a couple little ones. And maybe there'll be some leaves or something. Look at that. Scatter, just like I threw them onto the table. That's what I want. So I think that this very center one is going to be this one right here. And I'm going to go in and just do it straight with my pen and not worry about the pencil. I need to set my mouse down so it doesn't go sliding. So I'm going to go in and do this one. So it's the center, and it had a bit of a swirl. Oh, I do need my mouse. We're going to zoom in. So it's the center with the swirl, and then it's the slightly pointed because we're going to balloon those petals in the middle out by using those extra little parentheses lines. Parentheses line, and then giving it its little stripes. And it doesn't matter the order you put the lines on. You know, your doodle, your design. And that's the cool thing here. Relax. Just enjoy putting your pencil or pen on the paper. Now, that didn't end up being the right shape for me. I just made that a little bit bigger because I can. Maybe I want this one to be a little bit bigger too. There. And this one. Grow your petals. Make them the shape you want them to be. I'm going to go ahead. This one's going to be much bigger than my outline circle. I really want this one to be prominent, to fill its space. This would be a lovely card for sending to a friend, a design for putting into your bullet journals. You know, so many people are doing bullet journaling, and these types of designs are great for putting onto pages. If you put like 7 petals, and you use these for marking off days, or you do multiple petals. You could do like 30 petals around, and it could be something for marking off the days of a different whatever you're tracking. Cool things, huh? I haven't started doing bullet journaling. Grab whatever paper you have. You don't have to do it on watercolor paper. Now, I think I'm going to have a flower that is facing away. So I've got my center right here. I want to go back to the... So I've got my center flower here. I'm going to have this one right here. I'm going to make it facing away. Now, it's in my... I've got my circle, but I want to maybe... Let's see. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm figuring it out as I'm going along. So I'm going to put just the arch of the center, because I'm going to have all the petals coming back this way. So I'm going to go and make my center sort of the same shape that we have of these first petals, but it's sideways. And I'm going to say my petals are coming back and away. And you see, I'm not staying exactly with my circle, but it's giving me the information I need to remind myself that as I'm going around, my petals are getting smaller. Because they're foreshortened, you don't see the petals all the way. Now I'm going to come back over here. Just like that. Now we have this one that's laying on the side. It got a little bit bigger than I was expecting it to, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get my little center lines in. I'm following the arch of the petal. So that also helps to sell the idea that these are coming away from the center. Maybe I want a couple more lines. Remember what I said, if you're doing these for coloring pages, or you want to put a little bit more time into your coloring, don't put too many lines in here. I am so glad that these types of lessons, I love these sort of sampler lessons, and then being able to use those flowers and use those designs. Look at that. I'm kind of going crazy there. Woo! All sorts of extra little bits. I want to make this center flower just a wee bit more impactful. So I think I'm going to add another layer of petals here in between. Look at that. I'm still keeping them kind of pointed. But it needed to be a little bit bigger than this other flower, because this is my center. I want this one to be the one that your eye goes to first, and then these other flowers are going to just be there as supporting characters. So since I did that, I think I'm going to put an outline on the inside. Of those petals. Ooh, look at that. All right. Now you can simple shading These petals are on top of those ones in back. I'm going to go in and put just a tiny touch of dark right next to the edge. And I'm pretty much saying that the light's coming straight from the top on this because it's laying on a table. But I'm not putting, realistic shadows in for everything. I am going to put a little bit of a shadow under one side. Just to call a little bit more attention to those. Look at that. That's all it takes. Tiny little things, not big steps. All right, little flowers, smaller flower. I think we're going to go with the little ribbon flower maybe. So that one was when we did our loop. I'm still using those little circle outlines that were there. And then we're going to make our parentheses around the outside. Look at that. Have it touch the tip. And it really looks like ribbon loops. So there. And maybe I'm going to put a little tiny, this part back here could be the calyx, the little green that would be around on the outside. Maybe. Who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and give the center line all the way out. And a little bit of a shadow. And I'm just using the pen and making little dots and giving the center a little bit of design. Look at that. Easy. We're still using our basic designs. I think I want to go with the heart flower. And I'm going to make that one a sweet little one right over here. So that's this one. So we're going to do the little heart. It's going to be a flat-on flower. Some of the petals are a little longer. Sometimes my petals go over the top. That can be a design element that you add if you want. Do it like that. Adds another layer of design. And remember what I said, if you do a line over and over again, I think I want another one of those. I like those. Those are really nice little ones to scatter. Oh, that one ended up being only 4 petals. Not a problem. I think it's going to get its little outline. See how you can get variations without having to fuss about it. Boom. And maybe a third little one right there. It's going to be the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and ooh, look at that, 5. Now, that's one way to do that. Remember this flower right here? If you wanted that, you could just put the curve on the outside edge. What? Yeah. So there's multiple ways to get the same effect. And that's one of the things I want you guys to really understand is that there's many ways to get to the same thing. You're not limited to just the way I do it. You can do your flowers, your designs. They may look similar to mine when you get done, or they can look totally different.
The ones you're using right now won't bleed, right? If you watercolor.
Right, if I watercolor over this right now, this is a Micron archival ink, and it is micropigment ink for waterproof and fade-proof lines.
Undersea doodles could be a feature thing too.
Undersea doodles. Ooh, I like undersea. We can do, starfish and well, I'm going to be doing fish really soon for Father's Day. So, we've got all kinds of things we can do. Coral. Let's see. I think we're going to go with just a plain sort of daisy doodle. Daisy doodle right here. And once you get comfortable with your petals, you can start just improvising. Look at that. Totally an improvised flower. But we started with our base. We got comfortable with how to make flowers. I'm going to put another little daisy doodle right here. Tiny one. Now I'm going to make my petals on this side be shorter. Maybe that works. Maybe that didn't work. You know what? I'm going to go and put some color on some of those petals, every other one, just because I didn't like the pattern that happened. So I'm adding some variation. Look at that. Just because you draw it down doesn't mean you have to leave it the way it was. You can start doing some of those other doodle patterns that we've done. Growing your flowers, making designs. Oh wow, look at that. This guy is really growing, isn't it? I don't want to get it too big though. And then I'll go in and a few of the petals I'm going to just make dark. Not everything works out the first time you do it. But the cool thing about doodles, you can continue playing with it and making it work out. So we've got these designs here. I want to put one more here. Or maybe one of the, we haven't done any leaf designs. We need to do some leaves real quick. So a quick leaf is always just make an arched line, make a little line at the bottom of it, and have it come to a point. All right, that's the basic line. So let's say we want a leaf that's going over the top that way. We want a leaf that's coming underneath the bottom here. Now, just because I'm making these big doesn't mean that they have to be one giant leaf. And then I'm going to toss a couple small ones on here. Just like that. All right, those are the stems. Now, this one, I'm going to just do a simple leaf. That's all it is. Simple leaf. And the center bit here doesn't even have to go all the way out to the end. Maybe I want another simple leaf right here, going the opposite direction. Okay. Maybe up here, over the top, I'm going to do that same simple leaf shape, but I'm going to have multiple leaves on there. So now I have stems coming off of that main stem. And do you see how I'm not being real careful about keeping those shapes of the leaves the same? I want them to be different. I want them to have some flow to them. There's another leaf shape, let's see, that's kind of like ivy. And that is, you go out and come back. Do that same shape again, but bigger. And then out and come back to the stem. And then I'm going to do it again. Out, back, out, back. So that's kind of like ivy, and you can have this going on long branches, long stems of it. I think I'm going to get 5 on here. As you go down towards the base of your stick, your stem, start making your leaves a little bit smaller, especially when you're doing something that's kind of like ivy. You know, falling asleep thinking of the doodles that you want to do, that's an amazing thing. Now, you can leave those ivy the way they are, or you can, I'm going to put one right up here. You can go and do an outline to give yourself a special one. And you can make that center line go all the way out and then have the line go out to the tips. And then if you wanted to, have an extra line going out to give you more detail in your leaves. Look at that. We're getting this beautiful little scatter. This one right here, I think, is going to be kind of like just bumpy, not counting how many, not counting how many bumps we put on there. But just keep it kind of even on each side. You can make these little veins heavier. I kind of like the less is more on the leaves. This one, the center bit here, got a little bit thick. So what I'll do is I'll thin that down and not even worry about that. It's nice to mimic the same shape a couple times. So maybe we'll put one right here that's similar, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same. See, look at that. Similar, doesn't have to be the same. If you can get similar shapes like 2 or 3 times, that's nice. Maybe I'll have one more right here of that lumpy bumpy shape. 1, 2, 3. Not worried about making it perfect. That's the thing that really makes doodling fun, is that it doesn't have to be perfect. And it can feel so cheerful. All right, we're going to put, let's see, I think we're going to put another one of the ivy-shaped leaves up here. So look at that. That one went wild. It's got more of a curve to it. I like that. And you see how my center line didn't line up? I just made it go into one of the side veins instead. You're the one in control of your flowers, your doodles. And something else that just makes this even a little bit more fun is you can go in and put little circle dots, and it's like putting sprinkles down. A few of these actually gives you the sense that it's laying on a table or floating in magical space. I like magical space. And you can have your little groups of dots. Make them random. Don't make them look like they're a specific pattern. These are little magical sparkles that just sort of landed on the table or are floating around your leaves and flowers. I like them when you have little groupings of them and then some scattered dots. But that's me. And you may not like this little design element at all. Don't put it in if you don't like it. Don't put it in if it doesn't give you joy. Your doodles, your designs, and I hope that you guys have been having fun. If you are new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure that you have your notifications turned on, both your application for YouTube and on the channel. If you don't have it turned on the app, YouTube won't remind you when we do our fun shows. You want to see the fun shows, right? So that side angle view. Ooh, side angle view. That's pretty. And then the wide view. Look at that. We have this pretty little design, fun little card. And if you left off one of these flowers here, you could put words, or you could even take a strip and put words on it and tape or glue it on. Tape it on with like some washi tape. That would be cute. Put it on a card, or just write something on the back of it and put it in the mail. Because we used a waterproof pen, this is a postcard. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I really hope that you will join me on Wednesday for our cute girl. We're going to be doing these flowers. We're using these flowers in her hair, as her hair. It's going to be a lot of fun. We did these 12 designs, and we made this fun doodle. Thank you guys. Remember to take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. I hope to see you back here again really soon, and have a great day.